Hey guys, thanks for watching Retro Tech Toys. How's everybody doing today? I got this awesome black MacBook a little while ago from a really good friend of mine. She had it sitting around at her house, not being used for years and years and years. So I thought I'd go see what she had because she wasn't quite sure what it was. And when I got there, it ended up being this black MacBook. It's the MacBook A1181 EMC 2021. It's a pretty cool Core 2 Duo MacBook. It's got some pretty good specs. It comes stock with a gigabyte of RAM, but you can upgrade that to 4 gigabytes of RAM. It has 64 megabytes of video RAM. It's got a 32-bit EFI architecture, so we're not going to be able to go beyond OS Lion. Now, you could probably get it to El Capitan, but there's no hardware acceleration for video or anything like that, so you don't want to do that. We're going to keep it at Lion. I like Lion pretty well, so that'll be fine. This MacBook was launched in November of 2006. It was discontinued in May of 2007. It's got 2 cores, and now it does have 64-bit architecture, even though the EFI is 32-bit. It's a 2 gigahertz Core 2 Duo T7200 processor. And as I said before, you can put 4 gigabytes of RAM on here. They officially only support 2 gigabytes of RAM, but you're supposed to be able to get it up to 4, so we're going to do that today, hopefully. And I'm doing this outside today because it's nice out here, and why not? So if you hear any noises, those are probably my neighbors and their dogs and all that good stuff. But I had to get out of the house for a little while, and I have a really nice front porch, so doing that from here. Now, the video card is an Intel GMA 950, and as I said, the VRAM is 64 megabytes. This is a 13.3-inch display with a native resolution of 1280 by 800, and it does support a second display for a dual display or for mirroring, and that max resolution is 1920 by 1200. This should have a 120 gigabyte hard drive on it if it wasn't upgraded at any point. That's a 5400 RPM SATA hard drive, and it should have a 6X super drive and Ethernet, and it should have Bluetooth 2.0 and 802.11 ABGN Wi-Fi. So we'll check all this out. We'll look at everything. First, I need to see if it actually runs. I haven't done anything with it. I don't know about the battery. I don't know about anything. So we'll have to find out about that. Let's have a look at this thing. And first of all, we'll plug it in and see if the battery lights up. I just so happen to have a black charger. So we're color coordinating. I'll have to replace that foot probably with something. And we don't have any light on the battery, so this battery's probably dead. I'm honestly shocked that the battery hasn't decided to blow up or get super bloated, but if it hasn't been powered on in a long time, that could be why. You know, it's just not been used. And this thing's in surprisingly good condition. For a lot of the MacBooks that you see of this era have cracks all over the plastic, and this one looks nice. It's just kind of dirty and it needs a good cleanup. So I'm going to take this battery out and we're going to set this to the side. I'm going to have to order a replacement battery for this, so that'll be in part 2. And let's flip this over and turn it on and see if it turns on at all. There you go. And I've got all my gardening in the background because we garden every summer, so yay. All right. Ooh, we do have power. That's awesome. Yeah. The screen's a little dim. I don't know if that's just because it needs to be turned up, but we can do something with this. I'm seeing right away that the F4 key and the left arrow key are missing. I'm going to go ahead and go on eBay and order those, and those should be in, I don't know, in a couple of weeks or something. As soon as those keys come in and I order a battery and it comes in, I'll do a part 2 where those all get upgraded, and we'll see how it fares. But for now, we can do some refurbishment, and I think we will. All right, now let's get this thing cleaned up because it's a little grungy and there's not a whole lot we'll be able to do. I will have to take some time to see if I can do something with a 3D printer about the few cracks that I did see eventually. But that'll take some time. That'll be in part 2. Part 2 is coming up really soon. Just stay tuned for that. All I have to do is wait for things to get here that have been ordered. And we'll give this another good cleaning also once the keys arrive and the battery arrives. But I don't want this sitting around being gross. So, and it's not that it's gross, it's actually in really good condition, but you know, you should always try to keep these things clean because they can go south pretty quickly in terms of dirt and grime. Got a little bit of grime on there, but it's not too bad. I mean, overall, the laptop was pretty clean. There's some wear on the trackpad, and a little bit of wear here, a little bit of wear here, and a little bit here, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, next we're going to go ahead and get OS Lion installed onto this thing, and we'll make sure everything runs, and that'll be it until we come back and do the battery and the keys, do another far more thorough cleanup, and we'll have ourselves a pretty nice A1181 dual-core black MacBook. All right, we're back. Now, since we got the RAM installed, I went ahead and powered it on to see if it worked, and it did not. So one of my 2 gig RAM sticks just does not agree with this computer, so I had to swap it out for a 1 gig stick. So now we have 3 gigs of RAM in here for now, and I will try to order a better stick. I have to do some reviews online and see which the better stick would be, and maybe I'll just order a complete set of 2 gig chips for this guy. But that should work for now. Let's see if it turns on with 3. All right, we have power. So let's turn it back off, and I have Lion on a USB stick here. Let's go ahead and get this ready and see what we can do. All right, I'm back. It's actually been a couple of days because I ran into some issues installing Lion onto the computer, and I lost the video that I took performing the hard drive and the RAM upgrade. So I'd like to do that part over again just to show everyone how to do that. It's extremely simple on these notebooks. And also in the process of that few days, the keycaps came in. So we'll go ahead and get those keycaps put on. For now, let me show you what you do to get this taken apart so you can upgrade the hard drive and the RAM. First of all, you have to turn this little thing here, this little tab, to unlock the battery, and you pull the battery out. You set that to the side. We've already done that. Then you've got 3 little screws here. You just need to undo these. So once you get these undone, this just lifts out and out of the way, and you've got tabs here for the RAM. You've got 2 RAM slots. So right here, just to pull one out and show you, this is DDR2 PC2 5300 RAM. I've got 3 gigabytes in there because one of my 2 gig chips did not work properly. So I'll get that upgraded for video too. The hard drive just pops out. You've got a little tab that you grab and you just pull it right out. And you just undo these screws, and you take the old hard drive out, you put the new hard drive in, screw it back together, and you just kind of guide it back in to where it's supposed to go. Once you get it in there, you just slide it in, and you tuck the little tab out of the way, and you get all this situated. You put this back on, and then you just pop your battery back in, and that is the entire process. Okay, so I ordered keycaps and they actually came in. Problem is, they sent me the wrong keycaps. I asked for an F4 key and they sent me an F3 key, and it wasn't even an arrow key that I got, so I don't know. I'll have to order some other keycaps and 2 more gigs of RAM and a battery. And when those come in, that'll be part 2 of this video. I don't know when that will be, hopefully very soon. But for now, we've got the hard drive in. We've got the RAM installed. We've got it put back together. I'm going to give it one more wipe down, and we're going to power it on and see if it works. Now, I didn't show myself installing Lion because the USB stick that I was going to use did not work, and the DVD that I burned would not work in this Mac. This Mac wouldn't take anything. So what I had to do was fire up a white Intel iMac that I have, and I had to install Lion onto it, and then I had to clone that hard drive over to the hard drive that's in here now, and then that worked. So it was quite a long process. But anyway, let's get this cleaned up. Lion should be working well now. All right, now that we have everything put together and we've got it cleaned up, I think it's looking pretty good. Let's turn it on to see if everything boots up, and it should. In fact, I know it does, but here we go. And interestingly enough, I'm not going to be able to change those keycaps out. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, because I was sent the wrong keycaps, so I'm going to have to reorder those. And when those come in, I'll put the keycaps on, put the new battery in, and then we'll take this from 3 to 4 gigs of RAM. And that'll be in part 2. And we might see if we can do something with these cracks. I've been trying, but nothing seems to be working. And the cracks aren't really that bad, so I'm not really too concerned about it. I'll be using this for a couple of things here and there, and it'll have pretty light use, so you know, it's not going anywhere where the durability or the construction is going to be a problem. All right, and here it is. We've got a trackpad that's working beautifully, and you know, all the other keys are working well. There we are. We've got Mac OS 10.7. We've got a 2 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo, 3 gigabytes of DDR2 SD RAM. So Lion's working. It's showing the 3 gigs of RAM. The SSD's working extremely well. We've got our internet and our Bluetooth and all that good stuff set up. We've got everything booting up properly. I have Google Chrome on there, and we could still use Safari. It's not going to be the best, but you know, why not? And as you can see, that SSD really speeds things up, and really upgrading the RAM from what it came with stock up to 3 gigs of RAM, that helps a lot. When we take it up to 4, that's going to help it even more for obvious reasons. But anyway, as you can see, the SSD really speeds things up. I like it so far. So as you can see, we've cleaned it up. It's looking really nice, so much better. There's very little physical damage on the machine itself, aside from a couple of cracks and the thing with the foot here. And we'll work on that maybe in part 2. You're never gonna see it looking like it came off of the showroom floor, but overall, you know, it's very nice and I'm quite pleased with it. And that's all I've got for today. More videos coming up, so you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Toys, and thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.